Welcome back to Controversy. And if you haven't or never ever watched our show, it's when we talk about all this controversial and weird, strange news, or what we think that people shouldn't do or should do, or yeah, we just bitches about things.
Any stories that kind of create discussion, really.
We almost turned into a humanitarian program at one point, but we still stick to the bitches and critical thinking. Anyway, the next story is critical thinking.
Okay.
The next story is from Nang Bo. Turkey groom kills wedding guest.
You sounded happy. Dude, you're supposed to be.
Well, basically,
kill wedding guests.
Yeah.
Mourn.
It's at a wedding celebration, right? Everyone wants to hear the good news. Everyone wants to celebrate.
So they kill the guests.
Some traditions, the way that they celebrate would be to fire guns in the air. Right?
It's almost like firecrackers for the Japanese.
Yeah,
that's almost like that.
That's what I think about when I first.
That sounds perfectly fine, right? Celebrations like that, I'm sorry, I just lost my words.
Loud noises.
Basically, instead of being the firecrackers, they were guns, and this time, since it was in Turkey, they used AK-47s.
Oh!
And normally, when you fire, AK-47s, I guess it's supposed to be up in the air and whatnot. But the bridegroom this time accidentally lost control of the gun.
It's hard,
and he just showered the bullets into the guests.
Not
only guests. It killed his father and his 2 aunts.
So that's the AK-47. That's what it looked like. And the chances are this kind of weapon is probably, it create impact. So you have to really have a strong grip on it.
What's it called? Rebounds.
It will push back a little.
You want to try?
No, I try. I went to a shooting range before, and just a small one. What's it called? It's have some retract and bounce. Yeah. So this is a huge one that they use in war, people, not in the wedding. So of course it's gonna have some kind of
kill someone.
Yeah. Well, basically, like I said, the groom lost control of the weapon, and he was at first trying to traditionally celebrate by firing it into the air. And it turns out the guests were sprayed with the bullets, and the groom's father and 2 aunts were killed.
So he killed his father.
Guess what? The groom was also arrested.
Despite not
intentionally trying to do it, but still using the AK-47.
That's why they have like intentionally,
unintentionally and whatnot.
Isn't it called like what, reckless to endangerment others people? Is that what they call or something?
You mean whether they mean to do it or not, but they still hurt
reckless.
other people?
There is this kind of similar incident in Thailand too. I can't remember, like probably a year ago, that when they do ordination,
ordination days,
ordination days, or wedding in the rural area and provinces, sometimes they will have somewhat fired in the air, to just celebrate, or I don't know,
to make loud noise.
To make loud noise,
probably creating more impact.
And it became the news because the bullet just fall into a girl's head in the kindergarten school, and the girl died.
And on New Year's, it happened before as well. They say that when it was midnight, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, they just shot in the air, and then it turns out that
hit someone.
Yeah, it made the news in the morning that a kid that was lying in his bed was killed because the bullet actually penetrated down. Everything goes up, it also comes down.
Yeah,
and
gravity.
It penetrated, down right through the roof, right through at least 2 or 3 ceilings into the bed that the kid was lying there.
I don't know how much it's going to take, or how long it's going to take until people realize that anything involve guns and weapons not going to have any good outcome from it. I mean, everything always end up with somebody get killed or somebody
I think that's the point of guns.
It's a tragedy.
In the first place, right?
Yeah.
When? I mean, it shouldn't be included in the word celebration at all.
For sure.
Well, people nowadays are trying to bring it into the word celebration so they can use it more.
I guess.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
I talked about this story to one of our anchors, the new guy, the Van, and he said that he watched the Mythbuster, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
And they say according to Mythbuster, the bullet that shoot out up in the sky shouldn't come down and explode it or harm anyone at the bottom. Like,
shouldn't?
Yeah, at the land, when it's landed, it shouldn't. But that's the thing, we have heard a lot of stories. So, let's just put on, both sides of the stories.
So what, it should be less speed or less penetration?
Perhaps, because different guns will create different impact, right?
Right.
Perhaps this kind of guns, in this case it's not. Well, in this case it's not like it's coming down and hit someone. It would just kind of spray. But Van gave me a pretty valid point, is that if you want to celebrate, why don't you just create a gun that meant mainly
that
for
is
celebrating.
Just
the
blank
purpose,
bullet,
right?
Exactly.
sound.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a
if you
good
want a sound,
True.
you know, or firecrackers. I mean, if you don't want to use a firecracker,
go for a
Just fire blanks, you know? They
Yeah.
have lots of blanks out there.
exactly. You do not need
Well, if they
AK-47.
can think that much, there wouldn't be this much tragedy. In the
It's
world.
true.
Well, I guess that makes sense why the police, decided to arrest the groom, because he should have used the blank bullets. in the
Or he
first place,
shouldn't do it at all.
Exactly.
But he
has
didn't,
a choice.
right? He
Because
had the choice, yeah.
according to the law, I think in this country I read, is that it's actually illegal to do it, but people still practicing it, just like any other country. Where,
Right, true.
Where there's a
Like
law, people will break
firework
it.
is illegal and we still use
Exactly.
it or things like
So,
that.
law is meant to be broken, apparently.
Right. Well, before we end our show, I found this very interesting news picture, news
Okay.
photos this morning.
You haven't done that for a long
Yeah,
time. Yay.
send
my
out
luck
on
then.
Twitter from my friend. It's the man boobs.
Man-boobs.
Apparently, he have the
Oh,
the man boobs as
Is that Photoshop?
no, it's as big as the football.
That was
size.
bigger than mine.
And
My God.
it's become news because he's now just went through the 6
Can we see the
hours.
full footage, full
He
picture?
he just went through 6 hours of operation with 2 teams of doctors on each side of his boobs just to reduce the size down. In severe case, it will be tumor. But I
Right.
think for him, it's not that bad. But normally when we talk about man boobs, we see something much smaller, like
Right.
a cup
This
A
is-
But it
or cup
shows-
B.
This is
Yeah.
D.
This is like probably double E.
Yeah, that is big.
Is this
scary.
is this like
This is in
genetics?
China.
Is it genetics or something? Is that why?
his breast started growing in 2008,
Okay.
and there.
It took him only 2 years to grow that big.
Wow.
The Shandong province in
longer.
China organizing 20 experts from 8 departments to work out on how to treat him. So it's
So
come down to they have to operate to reduce the size.
So it's not like it's producing milk or anything either.
No.
Is
I-
it gonna grow more after the operation?
I have no idea.
We're just curious. We're just curious.
Well, I guess if it's grow more, we'll heard more from the guy, but
Yeah.
it's big enough to become the news.
Well, it is big enough. I mean, look at the
it's more
size
than
of it.
big enough, right?
I think it's bigger than bullhead.
I'm
Oh my
glad.
God. You did not just put that image of a man's boob on my head. You did not just do that. Thank you very much. This is a good
Oh, you
show.
have like a little point.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, before we say goodbye, as usual, you can email us at controversy@TANnetwork.tv if you have more pictures or picture of man boobs or
Even comments on a man boob.
comments on the man boobs or other news or more interesting stuff, just send us the email. And that's it for today.
Yes.
See you guys again next week, and let's see what else we have what else we will have on the show just to talk about. Bye.